Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to call this introduction to breaker boxes, electrical breaker boxes. It's early afternoon, just got back from lunch. I'm going to try to make this quick video here before my workers get back and start hammering on things. I've got a light on, also got a little headlamp, so we should be able to see this real good. What you're looking at is a 200 amp breaker box. It's been installed in this older home. All newer homes built today are built with at least 200 amp breaker boxes in them. The older homes built some years ago would have like a 100 amp breaker box, which you're looking at a old 100 amp breaker box here. The way you can tell is these slots here, breakers would fit in there on both sides, and it's about a 100 amp breaker box. The main breaker, of course, the on off, the disconnect, be up here at the top. What they do on these old houses when they upgrade from like a 100 amp or an old 50 amp system to a 200 amp breaker box is they'll take the old breaker box and they'll connect all the wires to some newer wires as they've done there, and get good connections and put a wire nut on them and tape the wire nut down, keep it from moving, and they'll run the wires over to the new breaker box, which you can see they've done here. And they've also done a lot here up at the top, and they've run them up here and run them across the top and come into the top of the breaker box over there. That way, on the older houses like this, when people buy them and they upgrade the breaker boxes, they generally don't take the walls out and redo the sheetrock or whatever the walls are, the paneling. And the wires, the older wires, are hidden inside the walls. So in order to completely redo the electrical system and put all new wiring in and everything, you would have to take the walls down, and it's not an easy job. So what they do is they just keep the old wiring inside of the walls, and they just jump it from the old breaker box over to the new breaker panel, and they'll put in more circuits if they need to. Now on these breaker boxes you have several different types of breakers, and it doesn't matter whether it's a 100 amp breaker box or a newer one. You have your double pole breakers, and these are for your 210, and your electric range always is pretty hefty breaker. It's 50 normally. All I've seen is that they're like 50 amp for electric range. Electric range, you got 4 eyes, you got an oven, and you've also got a what they call a browning element on top of the oven, and you've got the baking element on the bottom of the oven. Electric range uses a lot of current, so that's why you've got 50 amp. What you see on these breakers is the numbers, is the amperage that the breaker is rated for. Now what happens if you exceed that amperage is the breaker will kick off. So these are all double pole here. You see they're connected together. There's a dryer, which is a 30 amp breaker, a range, which is a 50 amp breaker. Over here, this would be for an electric heater. It's not labeled, but it's what it's for because I'm familiar with the house. This is another one for electric heater. The next one down is for an electric heater, and specifically that's for a electric heater in the dining room. DR stands for dining room. Next one down is electric heater in the living room. This one here, the one in the dining room, or the one in the living room, actually runs 2 electric heaters. There's a small electric heater and then a larger one. As you go on down through here, you see another double pole here on the bottom. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double poles, which are used for electric heaters. And there's one double pole breaker here, which is a 210 breaker. Once again, all these double poles are 210 voltage. And this one is for the hot water heater. Anything that produces heat or takes heat away, like a hot water heater or dryer or range or an air conditioner, will use a double pole breaker. All the other stuff uses a single pole breaker, your plug-ins and your lights. So anyway, I'm gonna shut off this video now. My workers just got back. So you folks have a nice day, and thanks for watching.